Channel's podcast brought to you by ASZ International. My name is Raphael,
My name is Jeremy.
and today we're going to talk about
The impact of tariffs on the United States, globally, and what you should know, our thoughts. So let's get right into it. What do you think about tariffs? What's your opinion?
I was going to ask you first. First of all, for all of you guys who do not know, what is a tariff, Jeremy?
Tariff is imposed tax by whatever state is given by. So say there's a tariff placed on China by the United States, that means China has to pay a bigger tax increase so that they be able to put their items or whatever they're selling to the United States into the markets.
So essentially, the way I like to look at it, you know how you have tolls when you drive from like state to state or wherever it may be. Like there's a toll now in the city. If you guys are New York City livers or dwellers, it's basically that, but like for any type of trade. So that's kind of how I like to think about it. But what do I think of them? I think it's very important to like have some sort of money being generated through like trades because a lot of these places that make trades it's important for them to continue to be able to produce their products and make money for their people and on the contrary I think everyone kind of benefits from tariffs.
I feel like domestically, it provides business domestically. So like, say you're like a steel industry, and you said you wanted all, and whoever's in charge said they want all products made in home, made in house. So you don't have to outsource for steel. It provides jobs to people in the local area. It increases production, but on the flip side, it also rises cost of operations because when you outsource your business, usually, especially from America to another country, it's usually lower wages, also lower cost of material goods because because you're getting it from the United States, it's going to cost more because it's a better market. So those are like the pros and cons I can think of from the top of my head, and just doing prior research. But I think like stuff industries like that can benefit from. I really like the idea of it bringing back jobs to people in the United States because I feel like with automations and AI and robots being a thing, so especially for the industrial industry and the blue collar workers, they're losing a lot of like actually human like workers. So I feel like it's a really good thing that we could bring back that human aspect to the American job market.
So I want to talk about this though because you brought up a good point about just bringing back more jobs to the U.S. economy, right? So there's been a whole thing about like AIs and robots taking over human jobs. So like Jeremy said, I think it's a amazing way to bring back jobs for the U.S. economy. Because like people really would be like afraid of like losing their jobs. I mean, these are people with families, people who have people to look over, take care of after, and since this AI has come up to the scene, these people don't really know where their next paycheck is coming from because AI is streamlining the process. They're more efficient, but the one thing I can say about AI is that it is faulty because it is made by human. Um, so I'm glad for the people who like were kind of worried about like losing their jobs and stuff like that because now they have a means to live and provide.
Not saying that's a guaranteed thing if jobs are brought back domestically. I mean, on the negative side, because jobs are brought back domestically, people could still automate and put the industrial industry into a robotic stage because it might cost too much. But there is that.
That's also expensive though.
That is expensive
because that's literally creating a lot more technology, and that with that comes large expenses.
Also, too, that creates another industry because now you need people to fix those type of robots or
That
fix that
as
type of
well.
automation, and
So
that's going to cost more than hiring because their salary is probably going to be more because they're actual like I guess technicians in a sense that they need to be like trained, they need to be certified in whatever that specific certification requires or whatever degree that requires. Like it can't just be like blue collar. It's more than
it's
blue
not
collar.
blue collar. So then again, those people are still getting the short end of the stick because now you're going to need to get that education, actually go to college, maybe if it requires it, or just have that experience. But that's some very intricate work.
Yeah, and I feel like another pro that can be seen is that it does give us more. I wouldn't say leverage, but I feel like to be independent is always a good thing. So I feel like and the less dependencies on other countries help, but also within right now, currently in the economic state we're in, I don't agree that we should be enforcing tariffs and doing everything domestically just because economically we're weak right now and we're still recovering from what happened in 2020 with the whole pandemic and everything. So I feel like if we were stronger, say pre-pandemic, that economy, I would say that makes more sense to enforce tariffs. I mean, what do you think?
Um, yeah, as an economy right now, we're not the strongest.
Especially in the United States market.
Yeah, I want to say like I don't think it is the smartest idea just to be like having our own businesses or whatever, as opposed to like looking to make new relationships with like these other countries, just because we need other countries to be stronger.
Mm-hmm.
It really is like you have to like create these
Alliances.
alliances with these other places in order to make your own infrastructure and economy stronger. Because I feel like when you have homegrown jobs, in a way, our work and products will be more expensive than out as opposed to like outsourcing our products from other places. Even if you got to pay a tariff, um, you will find that like trading will be more profitable for yourself, and it will help both sides of the parties. What do you
Also,
feel about that?
I agree. Also, while you're saying that, I thought of another con. For like the mom and pop shops, I feel like they wouldn't be able. A lot of them won't be able to survive the tariffs at all. Because you're saying how some people can benefit from the tariffs, like employers domestically saying that they could receive back the money they've lost just using different incomes and different sources of income, I should say. But like, what about the mom and pops that are barely surviving as is, and they have enforced tariffs where they need to buy goods for a higher price, you know?
You see what I'm
And I
saying?
feel like that creates a monopoly for bigger corporations to kind of eat them up and really either take their business, take the land they're using to do whatever they want. You know what I'm saying? It just kind of creates like for
It's
monopolizing.
exactly. I think you hit the nail on the head. Um, yeah, I don't know. So this whole tariff topic or whatever, I mean, it's tricky. There's a lot that goes into it, but I don't know. We're kind of just like splitting hairs at this point.
I feel like as especially an American citizen, it isn't helping like the average American citizen. Like we're talking about average income, average home, like very middle around basic American. They're feeling the impact. I mean, the price of eggs, look at that.
What? Those things are expensive.
Fish is expensive too.
You take a trip to the grocery store, you paying like $200 for like two people, three people.
Yeah, and like stuff like that, like we feel immediate effects. I mean, I think gas has gone down like a little bit,
It has,
like a little bit, just because I think we opened the reserves again in
yeah.
America. But besides that, the average American kid keeps getting is struggling to get more and more like livable.
Hmm.
I mean, even the cost of housing. I mean, that's gone up tremendously
Oh yeah.
because
Talk about trying to like live as a young like adult, trying to make it in America. It's expensive.
I mean, also too, think about it. We get a lot of our wood from Canada, a lot of our lumber. So now we're imposing tariffs on it. Why would they, say sell us lumber when it's going to be, what is it, 25% tax on it?
Yeah, and that's a very
And
very
steel.
high tax.
Yeah.
Very very high tax.
So we have to do all that
Um,
ingrown. So now houses are going to skyrocket.
and it's been skyrocketing too. And it's
Yeah,
like
it's just
these jobs that inflation happens, and then inflation doesn't exactly happen with your salary it doesn't really happen with your salary. So you may get like a little bump up, but it does not mitigate like the fact that inflation really is turning making a turn for the worse.
Yeah, like that
Uh,
60,000 you're making might be in reality like 55.
If that,
if that with inflation. Like
if that.
because that's like it's crazy how you think like especially graduating freshly from college, you get a good job, whatever, and you're just like, oh, I should be all set. But I mean, think about the average age of people moving out; it's getting higher and higher, and the average age of people having kids because it's getting more and more expensive to even live.
So your grandparents, right? I can tell you about my grandparents. Mailman was able to provide for 5 kids. Um, and that's not like that's not being an engineer, that's not being a doctor. Um, and he was able to buy a whole home, like 2 homes with like that kind of salary. Now, mind you, you gotta be smart with your money, but nowadays if you're gonna try to be like a mailman as a profession, nothing wrong with that. You can make some really good money, but it's just more difficult to, live off that kind of salary in today's economy as it was 100 years ago.
I mean, think about it. Like the cost of a house, like in the 1950s, 60s, was like $5,000.
You were able to buy a glizzy for like 5 cents back then.
A burger was like a not even a quarter. Like
That's what I'm saying. Like you would tip people, and it's like nowadays you order DoorDash, you order Uber Eats, and it suggests that you pay like what is it? What is the percentage? Maybe like
it's
17%, 25%.
I think it's like 15 or 18 starting at 22, and it's like it's crazy and crazier. But then
back in the day, they'll slip you a quarter, and you're all good. They're like, all right, have a good one, and that's it.
Somebody had like $2 back then. Now it's like $20.
That's what I'm saying. So it's just like I feel like our money at the same time too is just like it's losing value. Like it's not
The cost
strong anymore.
The value of the dollar goes down each day.
Yeah, it's how does that work though? Like what are we doing wrong that's making that happen?
Well, there's a multitude of different factors. Saying like the national debt, as the debt increases, the value of the dollar decreases. Printing more money, stuff like that. Um, how much capital is in the United States as a whole? So like, how's the market going? And then if the market's decreasing, as you see stocks decrease, then like, isn't the dollar's not going to be as strong as say the market was high? So that like, when there's more demand for it, it's more valuable. When there's less demand for it, it's less valuable.
I follow you.
It's like supply and demand.
Supply and demand.
So what do you think about like the price tag getting big on certain items due to tariffs? Like how it's getting more and more expensive to like afford stuff.
I think it's terrible, honestly. The U.S. is a big place, so we're predominantly living in a very expensive area. But not to mention, the price of the goods in our area, which is Westchester, New York, um, it is pretty much out of hand. Like you're buying a case of eggs, a dozen eggs for how much that goes for like $13.
Yeah, something like
$12.
Sometimes I saw 15 one time.
I was thinking about buying a chicken and just getting some eggs laid at the house.
I think I saw at Costco, it's more affordable to buy a rotisserie chicken than like a frozen pack of chicken.
That's insane.
Yeah, the rotisserie was like maybe less than like $8. So it was less than 8. And then the frozen pack was like 15, 14.
That's the thing though, because you can always buy and budget at Costco, but that's besides the point.
Yeah, I mean some big corporations have kept their prices the same since the inflation has increased. Like say Arizona, their CEO he said that it's always going to be $1. I mean, if it's not $1 in your store, it's because the store itself changed the price. But like Amazon, Arizona, I'm sorry.
Oh, Arizona, the 99-cent iced teas.
Arizona said that they're keeping their drinks $1.
I love that though, because that used to be my drink of the summer every single year.
I mean, think about like I think in the '90s, like a water bottle used to be a quarter.
I feel like that should be robbery. The fact that you charge for water bottles. I mean, if it's like a really nice water bottle, like say it's like Voss, and you get like the nice big water bottles.
Or the glass bottles.
Or the glass bottles, like Saratoga. It's like I get it. You're kind of paying for the bottle at that point, but the water is no better. Like is this water like gonna make my teeth like bright white?
Like $2.50 for a water bottle is insane.
That's what I'm saying.
And at like a movie theater or like a sporting event, it'd be like $4 sometimes.
But it's exactly movie theaters especially, like they be taxing. But like I'm just talking about like the fact that it's like a basic necessity to live.
Yeah,
But also too, like I think there's a law like where you can go into any type of restaurant you want, and you could ask for water, and they could try to charge, or they could try to charge you for the water, but by law they have to give you some sort of water, whether that is tap, bottled water, or whatever the case may be.
I didn't know.
It's like a law. You're entitled to free water and free air.
At least two
My
things
older
are
brother
free.
taught me. My older brother told me that. So like when you go to like a gas station, you could ask them to turn the air on, even if it says like 25 cents on the thing. You could just like go into like the store and be like, "Hey, can you turn the air on?" They have to do it.
Oh, really? Oh, so I mean, I know some certain gas stations, not even gas stations, but like I know Mavis Tire, they have free air. Certain gas stations have free air. Does it include vacuum air or no?
I'm not sure about that. That's a little different. I feel like it's different.
But it's only for tire air?
I think it's only for tires. I have to double check. But anyways, how do you feel about like the prices getting raised, especially because you're a young adult and you're trying to like just stand on your own too?
I mean, I don't think anyone would like the prices being raised for anything. I mean, everyone probably like wants it to be cheap if possible. But I understand people got to make money off of business, and especially if you're a small business, like say like a local mom and pop, it's kind of getting hard to like keep up with that. Like say like because I'm willing to buy quality goods for a quality price, but if it just keeps on popping up, like I'm not gonna have any ambition to buy it anymore because it's gonna be I'm gonna deem it to be more expensive than the value actually is. So like say like I said before, a mom and pop that I locally go to, let's say they have a sandwich that's $10, and then let's say each month I see that sandwich growing by $1 and $1, that by the dollar, say, and now we're at month 5 and that sandwich is $15, $16. I'm not gonna buy it because it's way too much.
But like, how big is a sandwich though? $15, $16 sandwich is insane. By the way, oh, you see a wedge.
But it depends. I mean,
a wedge you could like low key get away with. But I'm just saying though,
chicken cutlet, cheese, lettuce, tomato, and like any dressing.
$16.
Yeah.
But like, how much chicken cutlet are they putting on that sandwich?
2 to 3.
2 to
that's
3
still crazy though.
That's a lot of chicken cutlet.
But like 2 to 3, but $16. I feel like
listen. I'm playing because that's actually absurd. I would walk out the door.
Yeah, like say like I know that's expensive food, but just like expensive stuff in general. Like certain things just should be. I know it's like it fluctuates, but it shouldn't be. Let's say $10, $15, $20 over the market norm.
Let's go back to the mom and pop though, because that's like a great point that you brought up. Think about the mom and pop and like where they get their goods from. Say like it's direct to consumer. If those prices raise from their location of buying the products from, their products will raise as well. And say it's like an older couple, they've been going there for like 10 years now. They're very like it's a mom and pop, so it's kind of like hospitable. It's kind of personal, interpersonal.
Yeah.
You would kind of be like, yo, like what's going on with the prices? You'd be like a little deterred from like spending the same exact like money you've been doing for like 10 years, and then like that 11th year it starts rising like exponentially.
Yeah. And then
it's tough.
That also affects another point where I had here. They're gonna start cutting corners in order to get more affordable prices for people in terms of maybe they're downgrading quality, downgrading service, or they're gonna start
Subway. Have you realized what Subway did?
What they do?
They used to have quality like they used to have quality they used to have quality meats, right?
You should say quality ingredients.
Yeah, quality ingredients. And now I think their chicken is like really processed. The turkey, I mean, cold cuts for the most part are usually processed a lot, but like
and that tuna, bro, that's not even tuna.
The tuna's not even tuna. Like I'm hearing all sorts of crazy things that like Subway, like their quality just like lessened over the years, and that's all to like save money. But it's like, yo, Subway's supposed to be like eat fresh the whole thing, and
that's on that note, it's a franchise too. Like, granted, people can privately own it, but like, it's still a franchise regardless.
Yeah, it is still a franchise.
Like, it's still a big corporation, like, still an organization.
They gotta stick to their word, still be fresh and be healthy. The whole thing.
Like, if they're cutting corners to match prices, imagine what your local deli down the street is doing. to these, especially like in like New York, California area where it's really expensive. Imagine what they're doing to stay afloat.
That's what I'm saying. They're finding these ways to get these processed foods that are lower quality, less healthy for us, and we're paying the consequences all around because like we're paying more. They're raising the prices, so it's hurting our pockets and it's also hurting our health.
And maybe
So
not
it's like
even
a lose lose.
maybe not even just food. Let's say like you go to a local paint shop or a window shop, and to cut corners on the paint's quality or the windows quality, they start using cheaper materials, and then the paints it's not as thick, it's watery. The window breaks super easily.
Or there's a draft in your house and you have to like raise your heat more in the winter.
Yeah,
That's another thing too. Cheap products all going around. So
like some people have found ways to mitigate these issues by like maybe finding out new materials or new ways to compensate for the cost price, but or the overall cost of operations. But it just gets harder and harder for these businesses to stay afloat, and it's causing. I think we said earlier, big businesses to monopolize on these smaller businesses, either taking their organization or taking their business or taking their land to create new, or property, or whatever, to open their own operations there. So I just feel like it's a whole mess in
it's a whole mess. I mean, honestly, I say we both invest in a farm.
Honestly, I feel like if more people did like natural stuff, like maybe grew their natural food, maybe grew stuff at home, not even like eggs and stuff, maybe just like tomatoes, spinach, like stuff they eat regularly, like plants or whatever. Potatoes are easy. All you need to do is put a potato on the ground and it grows. They don't need a seed for that. But like I feel like that would solve a lot of the issues. Not a lot, but like that make it a little easier. Like you don't have to worry about it. Even though the only thing about that is it takes time.
It takes a lot of time, a lot of patience,
and sometimes it don't even grow.
And then also too, like we're in New York, like where it gets super cold at times. So it's like we really want to be dealing with that. Especially like where we are, it's like a fast paced lifestyle. Like you just want everything now, which is why we have services like Uber Eats and DoorDash and things of that nature. So I don't know if it's right for our economy or our location to be growing their own things, but I don't know. It's something that needs to be fixed.
Yeah, sorry to end on a pessimistic note. It's just I always say make sure you have what you need and take care of yourself, especially if you're a big business. Make sure that you have the right a small business, sorry. Make sure you have the right staffing, that makes you're not overstaffing, not understaffing. Make sure you have the right utilities, so make sure you're not overspending on certain things that just don't need to be spent on, stuff like that. Make sure you're insured, make sure you have all the necessary insurance just in case, let's say your worker gets hurt or your car, any type of truck company or something like that, and your vehicle gets damaged, just make sure you're covered on that because you don't want to have extra expenses on top of the growing inflation.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, with that being said, thank you guys for tuning into another episode, and we'll catch you on next week's episode. Thank you.